checking in, y'all. Just trying to see, make sure everything worked. That's just my thing. Making sure I'm live. The worst thing that could happen is to go live and the volume not working or something. Oh, we live, y'all. I'm not gonna hold this up any longer. I have a couple meetings to get to, so I have to get to my office. But I seen a whole lot of chit chat. I hate it. When I say I hate it, y'all, I hate it. I hate all the chit chat. But I understand it's just the nature of the beast. So I'm definitely about to address some of the things. So the other day I did an interview or just a collaboration with B Scar. Shout out to B Scar, my guy. And I started to see a lot of comments. First of all, the thing with DJ Flex, Flex Bands, as he's called. I keep saying DJ Flex, but it's Flex Bands. Shout out to Flex Bands. What y'all got to realize is Flex Bands is like everybody's little brother. Like all of the guys that used to be at the hip hop shop around 2000 and like 14, 15, 16. Flex used to be around. His father was around, and Flex was like dear to my heart. I see Flex. He was probably, don't give me the line, maybe like 14 at the time. And Flex, before he had like a big song or anything, you could just see that Flex was talented as hell. And Flex was dedicated. Like it wasn't like Flex was rapping to be popular. It was a lot of people that was just rapping to be popular and they didn't have any real passion as far as for the music. But Flex actually had passion for the music. He acted his age. He wasn't around us acting super grown. And some opportunities may have came my way. And one of the opportunities was to do something with some kids, as far as perform and speak to the kids. I didn't mind speaking to the kids, but the only song that I had at the time with no cursing was We Winning. And I didn't want to perform We Winning because We Winning still was an adult song. It still was not a kid song, even though I didn't cuss in it because I made it for the radio. So I got Flex a check. Me and Flex always had a good relationship. So when I came home, Flex was DJing. And I called Flex. Like I talked to Flex. I've talked to Flex recently. Like I don't call Flex and ask for favors and do things like that. I call Flex to check on Flex. Like I call Flex and I say, Flex, how you doing? Like one day I was driving and I didn't like I missed the opportunity to call Flex for something. I may have missed like his birthday party or something. And I was driving and it literally hit my mind. This was probably like a month or so ago. And I called Flex out the blue. Like just called him out the blue. Like, bro, I'm just checking on you, seeing how you doing. So when I came home, it wasn't like I seen an opportunity in doing something with Flex in 107.5. First of all, I want to make it all make sense. I did not see an opportunity in that. I've never asked Flex for money or favors or anything like that. Even though when I say Flex, as far as DJing going right now, Flex is running the city, y'all. No offense to anybody else. He young, he turned, he said that, and he young, he turned, and Flex is doing his thing, man. Like doing his thing, and he is still Flex. So when I came home, I went to 107.5. I may have done an interview or two with my guy. I've been to yours like my little brother. So when when I say that I put a play together, like I really put a play together, like he'll tell you that I put the play together. Like it wasn't like Flex asked me, "Hey, bro, can you plug me with somebody at the radio station?" Or they asked me, "Hey, can you get us Flex?" or anything like that. Like I literally seen what Flex was doing. I seen the direction that the radio station was going. And this is when I say DJ Los, everybody know I'm not talking about the original DJ Los. DJ Los is my brother. Like I got songs with DJ Los. He scratched on. So I got a whole video with DJ Los scratching. DJ Los, the original DJ Los, Carlos is the truth. So it was people in there like, not DJ Los. I'm like, man, I wouldn't dare, bro. Like DJ Los, I think DJ Los is a genius. So I would never people don't even know DJ Los produced. Like I was telling somebody the other day that DJ Los make dope beats. So I would never take shots at that DJ Los. If people are not familiar, it's another DJ Los on the radio station. I don't know if he's still on there, but he was at the time. And I would listen to these mixes and I'm like, man, this guy DJ Los trash. I'm already mad you already trying to steal bro name, but I'm listening to it like this guy is trash. So when the clip came on and I'm like, dog, trash, it's a whole interview. Like this is a whole hour long, maybe a little longer interview, like an hour and a half interview or back and forth with me and Scar. And when I'm laughing at DJ Los being trash, this man is trash. When I say somebody trash, if I say you a trash rapper, you probably a trash rapper. If I say you a trash DJ, DJ Los is a trash DJ. So let's talk about what I mean by trash DJ. DJ Los, the music he select is trash. His mix is trash. Everything is trash. DJ Los that was on 107.5. Let's make that clear. The man is trash. And it is what it is. I'm not taking nothing back. That is what it is. He shouldn't have been on the radio. I don't know who he knew. I don't know who he was tied in with, but it was no reason for that man to be on that radio station and doing traffic jam mixes and whatever else he was doing. He trash. So it is what it is. We got to start being real with people. Like my dude needs to go do construction or something. Like he shouldn't have been DJing. And that is what it is. So when I'm listening to it, I reach out. I say, listen, man, y'all kind of like wearing down over there. Y'all need to get some new blood in there. So when I say I reach out, like y'all got to realize that I know people at the station, even other than Dior. I still rock with Akeisha. She wasn't there at the time, but she back there now. Sale, Twist, like everybody, I had some connection with everybody. So with moving around the city, I have moved around the city. I was not an artist that had my manager and you had to talk to my manager. I was my manager at the time. I was moving around a lot. So I have connections with certain people. And I was trying to use my connections to better everyone's situation. At the time, it was no reason for Flex not to be on the radio. This is what I mean by vision. A lot of these companies that's in the city and we call them tastemakers or whatever else they want to be, they are stuck in a position to keep doing the same thing over and over and getting the same results. That's insanity. It was no reason for that DJ Los to be on that radio station. If they would have had the other DJ Los on there, the original DJ Los, it may have been better. It may have been a better station. The original DJ Los out cold. The DJ Los that they had there is terrible. He should not have been DJing on nobody radio station. So even with DJ Los, y'all, it's not me taking shots from the internet. Like I've met this man before. I've talked to this man before. I've had meetings with this man before. And the man is, I don't like him as a DJ. To be honest, I didn't necessarily like him as a person. I don't know. Like, I'm just being honest with you. So I don't feel like it's no reason for me to front and fake. So when I first met him, we had a whole DJ pool meeting. Some people that was there, maybe like Twist, maybe Dior, them, like people was there. We had a whole meeting and it was about us who was promoting parties at the time and paying DJs and all this. So we get in there and dude was on the station at the time and he was complaining about how the promoters were paying DJs who had no DJing skills more money than we were paying people like him. And it kind of threw me off. Like you over here begging the promoters to do you a favor, but at the time I didn't know he was trash, y'all. I'm just thinking you at the radio station. Why you need favors and you on the radio station? You know what I'm saying? So at the time, that's how I'm viewing it, right? So I'm like, dude at the radio station and he is making excuses and complaining about the fees or whatever people paying other people. So this already threw me off. I don't care nothing about all that other stuff. I don't like anybody making excuses, anybody that's not out handling their business. So when I'm listening to him, I'm like, dog, sound like a crybaby, first of all. My mama raised 2 boys. First of all, I'm not into crying and excuses and all of that. I fumbled around the city until I found my way. So when I hear dude crying and he on the radio station, if people not paying you, it must be for a reason. If people are paying other DJs, it must be for a reason. He talking about Instagram followers and all this stuff. Like, dog, I'm not booking a DJ based on Instagram followers. I'm booking a DJ based on is he dope. So it's a couple people around the city that's dope, right? At the time, before he moved out west, my guy DJ Pest he was an immaculate DJ around the city. Me and one of my guys, me and Jeter talked about it the other day. The only thing with Pest is Pest was mostly known downriver, and most of the time you're gonna get the same downriver crowd at his parties, and that's cool. But you still want, you want to see some new faces in the party. But DJ Pest tear a party down. I'm telling you how this gotta make sense. So you go to a party, you hear, you know who controlling the crowd, y'all. You know who DJing and who hype to keep the party hype, slow it down when it's time to slow it down. And you got guys like Pest that do that. You got some other guys that do that. Flex is one of those guys that handle his business when he DJing. DJ Los, I have never heard anybody say he tore a party down. DJ Los was on the radio, and I have never heard any mix of his that I thought was remotely sweet. I wanted to repeat it. He's done nothing to impress me as a DJ. So I'm not coming on here making no excuses for dude. I don't know what his personal issues was. I heard he liked to drink a little bit. That ain't my business. All I'm saying is, as a DJ, you trash. Like, that just was what it was. And that just me not biting my tongue. This why I stay off these people internet talking about stuff like this, because y'all gonna get these little sound bites and these clips and try to clip them up and make me look like a bad guy. But people that listen to dude know he trash. Y'all ain't listening to 107.5 when Dog was on there. Dog trash. So I was locked up, and I was listening to his mixes when we went on, when COVID hit. When COVID hit, we was in our room for months, like three months. And my little homie Vale, man, listen, I tag Vale. Vale will tell you, bro. I used to listen to the mixes like, man, why they still got this dude on the radio? For real. I used to send messages from the joint like, man, why y'all still got Dog on the radio, man? Dude is trash. And I got people that attest to that. So what we gonna do is we gonna just address that first of all. Dog trash, I'm sticking to it. And it's not the DJ Los, the original DJ Los, who just came back from overseas horn, who's sweet as hell at DJing, producing, and that's one of my guys. I rock with Los. Y'all know it. Me, Kid produced the beat, Los on the scratches. We went crazy on there in the hip hop shop. If you're not familiar with that video, get familiar. I'm telling you, you know what I'm saying? We handle business. I rock with Los. The Los that was at that radio station, trash. And that is what it is. I don't know if he's still there. And if he's still there, it's just a test more to my point of why they won't get rid of the old and bring in the new. So that was what it was. If you look on the post that I made, you see that Flex commented on the post and told y'all that they had him go fill out applications 3 times. That's not what I talked about. What I talked about when I set the play up was basically for them to talk to Flex and for Flex to come in there and start doing some one-offs just to show them what he was capable of and getting some mixing time and doing things like that, doing some mix shows here and there and incorporating Flex into their regular show. That's what I thought was going to happen. Flex went down there and they started trying to have him fill out applications. These people need to grow up. I don't mind him filling out an application. That's a part of getting a job. Technically, it's still a job. But the way they played it and they still had Los on that radio station, I don't know if he's still on there. I haven't listened in a while because of that. Like, it was nothing to listen to. Nobody is rocking with Los, and this is what it is. And I'm not going to make this all about Dog. I'm just making a point that it was not like somebody called me and looking for each other. I literally seen that this would be dope. Flex is a big DJ with a big social media following, and Hot 107.5 was tanking, and they needed somebody like him to give them some new blood, to bring some new artists up there to do what I thought he could do for the station. I had no percentages in Flex. I don't manage Flex. I've helped Flex make money. I've never taken anything from Flex, and I did set up one interview with Flex going up there and him, presenting what he had going on and everything. And I met him up there, we kick it. And I'm telling you, Flex like my little bro. Like, I genuinely love Flex, and I love the fact that Flex never changed on me. Like, I text him, he texts back. If it go a few hours, my bad, bro, I apologize. I was doing this. I slept in late. Like, some people you have genuine connections with. Me, Nep, Flex, all of us, we have genuine connections, y'all. There's somebody that I'm genuinely connected to. I didn't use his name for clickbait or nothing. This like my little bro. So the same thing with Vay. Vay is my niece. I don't run around making no big deal about it. Her dad is technically my brother. And so I claim her as my niece. She gonna say the same thing, like that's my uncle. And I did exactly what I said I did in the video. I helped her. I have the contracts. I have her contract with Dude. I have her latest contract, and whatever else she need help with, she sent it to me. I don't go on the internet and make all of these big old posts about everything that I got going on. What I do is I help where I can help, y'all. I help where I can help. It's other people that'll tell you I hooked them up with producers. I've hooked people up with tour promoters. I didn't come on here making no big deal about that. I've recently, I'm not talking about no has been stuff. I'm talking about what I've done the last year, 2, 3 years, where people needed PR. I got a big PR person that's out of California. If you needed PR, I helped you get PR. If you needed to hit the road, I'll help you hit the road. I don't do any gatekeeping. I hate that word. I'm just keeping it a buck with y'all, bro. Like, even though I haven't dropped in a couple years, like as far as an album, me and Nep still dropping videos, still dropping singles, but I haven't dropped a project. And that's kind of what I became known for, was the project. So people like, bro, when you gonna drop? Listen, I'm gonna drop before the weather break. I guarantee you I'm gonna drop before the weather break. This year drugged me. It was some personal issues. I overcame that. It was some other stuff. This year kind of took me for a ringer. Me and my lady went through a little something. If you familiar, I was on there talking about we broke up. I moved out. It was a bunch of stuff going on. But I got my life back together. So we gonna go and put this music out. Me and Nep finishing up my project. Then we gonna drop real Motown music. Then we drop his project or vice versa. But real Motown music is coming. My project is coming. Nep project is coming next year for sure. Now, nobody is gonna call me a liar, bro. Y'all see the post, the same thing that happened with Dawgface and Jay Oneal. Dawgface used to manage me. I didn't. You see, when I asked the question, Scar was like, "Yeah, he just told me that." So I'm telling you that I don't got no reason to stun in front. It ain't like, I'm gonna make some money off of Dawgface used to manage me. And I didn't dog him. Like Dawgface, he did his thing when he mentioned me. Me and Dawgface never had a fallout. We never had no problems. I don't care about all the internet stuff. Jay Oneal is my guy. So I posted clips yesterday. Jay Oneal called me yesterday. We had about an hour-long conversation. And I explained to him the same thing. Like, if Dawgface wanted to jump on here right now, we'd jump on here, do an interview. I don't care. I'm not all of that. Jay Oneal is my man. I said it in the clip. Jay Oneal, my man personally. Like, Jay Oneal's, bro, come over to the crib. I got some beats for you. Or come over to the crib. Let's chill, whatever. Jay Oneal, me and Jay Oneal got a different relationship. Even though, like I say, I've met him in the studio, but man, it's different, man. Like, what people got to understand is Jackpot is a rapper, but I just had a crazy indictment. I don't even talk about the indictment on here because some of my co-defendants not even home yet. So I've been kind of like quiet about my indictment. So I got a crazy indictment, like thousands and thousands and thousands of appeals, y'all. I made a lot of money in the streets. Like, people around me know what's going on, but the internet is the internet. And then if I don't say it, people act like it ain't going on. Or if you don't show it, people act like it ain't going on. Bro, it is what it is. I did a lot of stuff in the streets. Somebody called me yesterday, somebody that I do business with and have done business with for a minute. And they called me yesterday because they seen like my name scroll up on social media. And they was like, he called me and he said, "Dawg, I didn't even realize you was Jackpot." And I'm like, maybe he talking about Jackpot the Juice. Shout out to Jackpot the Juice. But I'm like, maybe he talking about Jackpot the Juice. And he like, "Dawg," he started mentioning names. And these people from the streets, like, and I'm like, bro, I don't want to get, whatever. But he like, "Dawg, I remember this and that and that." And I'm telling you, I've been in the streets, bro. Like, I just changed my life, and I'm happy that I changed my life. But I wasn't a playing in the streets type of person, so I've been around. So some of the stuff that I don't even speak on, you see people commenting, like the BMF stuff. When I was talking about the BMF stuff, some of them like my real guys, I don't never claim BMF. I've never done that. But I'm from Southwest, so you gotta imagine that I'm tied in. So when I was doing the BMF clips, they were sending me paperwork, like not not the like not the new BMF dudes, but like the original BMF dudes were sending me paperwork, sending me information, and I was coming in posting the stuff because they knew I wasn't gonna say, "Yeah, man, such and such gave me this," or dude sent me this, or blah blah. So people got to realize that my character is not to name drop and to do all of this. So I kind of just be cool, but you're not gonna take away from who I am and try to make it like if I say something there's no validity or whatever it is. Like, bro, I am who I am. I've done what I've done. I'm not saying I'm T.I. or none of those guys, but I've handled my business both in music and in the streets, and everybody that got paid for me. So I know what's going on. So when I say I had an issue with Joe McFashion, even before the issue with my niece, I had an issue with Joe McFashion because I paid Joe for something. Joe didn't deliver. Then Joe tried to do a bad review. Like, his people try to do a bad review of one of my albums, and it was just unprofessional. And I was like, dog, I ain't even tripping, because for Show magazine at the time, you had So Detroit too, and for Show was more street. So Detroit was a little more hip hop, but So Detroit actually did good business with me. You've never heard me say anything bad about them. I actually gave them a shout out and King Me. And I was like, hey, So Detroit, how's that for Conscious? And it was because the owner had a personal conversation with me on the side, and she basically called me a genius. Well, they called me a genius in a magazine, and then she explained to me why she thought I was a genius. She was like, basically, the way that you interweave street music with hip hop is genius. Like, you can really rap, but you have street content. So she and I had that, and so that's why when I said it in a song, it wasn't like a diss, it was a shout out. And I had certain situations where it was certain shout outs were taken like that, like with Drano. Rest in peace to Drano. Me and Drano only had an issue when we were teenagers, right? So Drano, I genuinely love Drano. So with Drano had his crew. They had beef with another crew. I didn't care for either crew. It didn't matter to me either way. I had my own crew. Rest in peace to my guy Nori. And technically Nevaeh, Nori's niece, is Carter's daughter, and that's why I call her my niece. So she is technically my niece, but this is like my family at the time. So we had our own thing going on, and I like Drano. Like loved how Drano rap. It was certain guys that Carnell, different guys that rap. They going by Stoley English now. Different people go by different names now. My guy Josie Wells, different people. Like I like even them two. The crews were beefing. It had nothing to do with me. So I liked who I liked. Right? It was their business, and I was just Jackpot. So when Josie was one of the first people that actually brung me to the Southwest music scene. People don't realize that. So Nori had his crew, and we went to record some mixtape music, and we brung Josie with us. And I did my song, and when I walked out of the booth, Josie was in there with Drano and somebody, like he like on the phone, like, dog, this nigga Jackpot the truth, like Jackpot Code. He probably don't even remember that. But I'm telling you, my memory code, I remember everything. So Josie and Drano cousins. So when all else fails, me and Drano kick it a couple times. Look, we got to get in the studio. We got to do this. So I end up having issues with the other crew. So I'm not picking a side, but I'm not going to shout out the other crew when they got, I got like some little personal issues from school, like battling we teenagers. And it turned into more like street stuff and everything. But when I make a mixtape, the intro of the mixtape, I give a shout out to Drano. And I said, just like I said with the So Detroit thing, I said, you try to walk in my shoes, stumble and fall in the street. Hey, Drano, them some big ass feet. And I was giving a shout out to Drano because he had a song called Big Ass Feet that was like a real big anthem around Southwest and Ecorse and Rouge. And it was cold, like a something on them big ass feet. I'm on them big ass feet. And I liked it. I just gave him a shout out. Mind you, me and him ain't did a song together, but we've had conversations of, man, we got to get in the stew. We got to work. So I was giving him a shout out. Anyway, I come around looking, trying to see if he heard the mixtape. Like I'm more proud of the art than anything else. And they was like, man, Dre in the studio making a diss song. To this day, I ain't heard the diss song. I heard he got on my ass. I worked at Wendy's probably a couple months before that or so. Whatever it was, he was shooting his shots. It was all good. But it just to say that and to go back to So Detroit, it was like I'm giving a shout out and it could be taken the wrong way. Cause I thought about it later on. Like when I say how's that for Conscious, it could be like I'm mad that they put a conscious label on me, but I consider myself a conscious rapper. I think I'm a conscious street rapper. It's exactly, I love So Detroit because I felt like they got it. So when they wanted to do interviews, I didn't care if they wanted $500, whatever they wanted, I paid for it. I thought they understood, like this is quality street music, basically. For Show magazine, they were trash off the rip. They believed in cash out Doughboys. That's it. Like, so when they gave me a bad review for the Fire and Brimstone album, Joseph didn't even listen to the music. So this was my issue with Joseph. Joe McFashion posted the music, bro. He posted my music on his Instagram. Like, this is cold. This is new Detroit music. This. He like gave me the hugest shout out. Like, dog, this so sweet. And as fast as he put it up and start gaining some traction, he took it down. So I'm like, dog, why would you take the post down? This was not nothing I paid him for. This was something that I felt like he genuinely felt. Even when I called him, he like, bro, this is cold. Then I see the review and it was like, he talking about the same thing, hustling, how he's a better rapper, such and such. I say, dog, what is anybody else talking about? But Joe McFashion messed up and he sent me screenshots of his back and forth with the person that did the review. When I reached out to him and So Detroit about reviewing the project, So Detroit gave me a price, Joe McFashion doubled it. So Detroit did the review in maybe a week. 3 weeks later, the album had came out, and For Show Magazine hadn't even did the review. And I paid them for two because he had two sites at the time. So I paid him for both. I'm spending money. I'm talking about I'm spending money. Whatever they asked for, I'm spending money. So dude never got the reviews done. So the one review, I'm looking at it. He sent me the screenshots of him and the person reviewing it. The person asked Joe, "What do you want me to do with this? Like what you want me to say or whatever." And the person was basically like, "I just can't get into it," which is cool, but that's not how you review music. So I had a history of reviewing music. I worked for a blog site and I used to review hip hop, R&B, and gospel music. They asked me what music was I comfortable reviewing, and I told them what I was comfortable reviewing, and I did that. It got to a point where they wanted me to review. They wanted me to review like rock records or soft rock or something. I was like, dude, I wouldn't really know how to review this because this is not something I listen to regularly. So Joe McFashion, before he posted the review, I'm calling and calling like, bro, when is the review gonna come out? Cause the album been out already. Like the album out now, and the review should have came out before the album. And when he like finally did it, cause I threatened him, like I'm not being 1,000. I threatened him. I said, dog, I don't know who you used to dealing with, but I spent money and I want my whatever I paid for, and I'm gonna do what I gotta do because I don't play with my money. You know what I'm saying? I'm taking chances to get this money. But we got it straightened out. He posted it. He did a bad review. I went on there and I did my interview with them that I paid for. I did my interview with them and they started asking me about the review. And I was like, look, you did your review. I did a review of y'all. It's all even. And then we talked about Detroit music and I talked about Blade music and things like that. Shout out to Starstruck. Starstruck was like ultimate Blade defender. Starstruck was ready to run up on me. Starstruck got to leave me alone. Me and Starstruck cool now, y'all. So we good. But that led to other people like, man, how could you say this about Blade? So anyway, a lot of this stuff turned into that. I never had a good relationship with Joe McFashion. But if I'm mentioning people, I've done business with them. Like I've actually been in rooms with them. So I'm not nobody that's name hawking and trying to do anything for attention. That's not me. So all of these people that I mentioned, I've had some type of interactions with them. When I say something about the DJ Los from the radio station, it's a reason that I'm saying something about the DJ Los from the radio station because he trash. And it is what it is, man. Shout out to my guy. See, Q tapped in. See, Q from downriver, he know what I'm saying and what I'm talking about. Shout out to all of the people downriver, man, all the producers and stuff. Like I did my rounds down there. Now, you got another issue going on right now with the Kash Doll thing. Now, I don't have the whole contract or anything like that. So I'm not gonna break down the contract and all that stuff. But what I'm gonna say, and much love to Kash Doll. I'm not gonna disrespect Kash Doll, anything that she's done. When I came home from the state in 2011, going into 2012, I believe, Kash Doll was getting off the stage and the raps was everything was but she stuck to that shit and she made something happen. So shout out to her. Shout out to her uncle Cora. I know her uncle. They gonna be mad, but shout out to Peanut. Your uncle can't stay. He always talking about Peanut. Shout out to Peanut at B&B. I know they had their issues, but I love Peanut. Shout out to Peanut. Listen, Gladiator is my guy, right? I am familiar with a lot of people in the situation, but Gladiator is my guy. If you're not familiar with Gladiator, I think his name Marcel Ragland on Facebook. Gladiator is my guy. Like when I came home from the state, Gladiator kept me in every show, in strip clubs when I ain't want to be in strip clubs. I want to make strip club music. Gladiator made me make songs to perform at the strip club. Like literally. I had to have songs because I know Gladiator was gonna call me out. Gladiator is one of my guys. Gladiator like my brother. So when y'all talking about that Detroit next to blow and what who owe who and what happened, Gladiator does good business. I have not seen anybody dog my guy. Shout out to Gladiator. Shout out to my guy Dez. If you're not familiar with Dez, shout out to Dez at Mob Life Entertainment. Shout out to my guy Dez. Shout out to my guy at 1-8. Like, listen, bro. My guy D White at 1-8. Shout out to all my people, man. Like, I move around, bro. Shout out to everybody that's doing good business out there. Shout out to my guy Gladiator once again. Once again. So when people say promoters, right? So I haven't spoken to Gladiator in particular about this situation, so I'm not gonna act like I did. But what happens is you get more than one promoter on these shows. I've done it. I've promoted shows with people that made me not want to promote shows with people again. I've promoted some good shows with people. I promoted shows with my guy B Jones out in Grand Rapids and Muskegon, things like that. Like collaboration is everything when you promoting. What happens is sometimes you cannot control what happens. So I did my first show that I promoted on my own was the Gifted and Talented release party. It's videos of it up there from Blue Iguana, different things like that. So what happened was me and Gladiator had a date set out, time, everything. We had a show booked and the venue caught fire. And then something else happened where I was like, look, Gladiator, I'm gonna go ahead and just put the show together. This was my first time promoting the show by myself, and the show banged. And it was certain things that I didn't understand. Like I charged the performers to get in. I didn't know that that was a a no. Different things like that. So you live and you learn. I did the show. My thing was I was giving out T-shirts and CDs. So I was like, look, man, I got to make up for this money. And Jackpot had a little money then. Jackpot didn't have the jackpot money, but he had a little money then. So, but I wouldn't do that now. Now, if I asked somebody to perform, I wouldn't dare charge them unless it was like a big artist and we had slots that we were selling or something. But the show went off without a hitch. We had a great show. It gave me confidence to have more shows. It was a beautiful thing. Gladiator is my guy. We've done other shows together. You've seen flyers with Gladiator and I. I did Detroit Next to Blow, like the first big show that they did in 2012, I believe it was. It was me, Donnie Boy. Y'all probably know Donnie. Donnie sing and rap, and Jay Cotton. Is it Jay? What? Let me see. It was. Let me make sure Jay was on there, y'all. So I'm just giving y'all the history a little bit. So definitely Jay Cotton was on there. Jay, my guy. So yeah, definitely was Jay Cotton on there. So this Jay Cotton, Donnie, it was a few more of us, but we all did Detroit Next to Blow. And it was supposed to be like a reality show type of thing. That's what it started off as. And it turned into something else. It has come to my knowledge that it's a new Detroit Next to Blow, like somebody else that's using the name or something. And shout out to them. I'm not into beefing with nobody about stuff like that. That's something that they can deal with lawyers or whatever else they got going on. But what is it? I'm sorry, it's Detroit Got Talent. So that's the new one, DGT, Detroit Got Talent. Shout out to the people at Detroit Got Talent, Sarah them. They good people too. But Detroit Next to Blow, I did that. That's where I met Brandon Smith. They had us do it was like literally had us training. We had to go do media personality work with Brandon Smith at Star Factory. That's where I met him. And then I ended up working with Bam. She had an office out there at Star Factory too. And Bam was my manager through the Gifted and Talented release and stuff like that. Shout out to Bam. Me and Bam still cool. Bam was good people. So shout out to Gladiator, y'all. I'm telling y'all, Gladiator do good business. I'm not going to say what happened on here, but when you have all of these promoters and you have the venue and you have artists and you have so much into one show, anything can happen. Sometimes it's the fault of the promoters. Sometimes the venue just ended up not having what they supposed to have. Maybe the heat went out. Sometimes the parking wasn't good. Sometimes it could be a litany of things, but things happen. So if Cash Doll was paid and didn't show up for whatever reason, they'll probably sue. Whether the air went out, whatever happened, I don't know. So it'll be up to the judge to say who get the money or who keep the money. But she's probably gonna owe that front end back. You didn't perform the end. Like it just is what it is. As long as they had a contract together, she's gonna have to pay that. So y'all can argue back and forth on the internet. If you did not hit the stage because the because they didn't pay you, that's one thing. If you didn't hit the stage because the air went out, that's something else. If you, or the heat went out, my apologies. If you didn't hit the stage because of whatever else, you want to go to see Brandy and Monica, I don't know that, but you're gonna owe this money. Like, you can't just say F the contract. And if they have any type of half decent lawyers, or if they know how to work Chat GPT, the contract should be half decent. And I seen that they asked her not to perform anywhere within a certain radius in a certain amount of time, and she violated that. They said, I'm not saying what happened or didn't happen, I'm saying what the promoters are saying. Then she can definitely be sued. Y'all have to understand contract law. Once again, back there is my paralegal books. I understand contract law. Before the paralegal stuff, I did my own contracts since I was like 16. I've always had like control of my own business since I got out of my first contract. I've always been able to read my contracts, understand it. If I didn't understand it, I'll look it up. So I understand contractual law. And as long as they have their contracts in order, she's going to have to pay them people back. There's no other way around it. She could say that whatever it was, if they had a show, she should have been there. If the heat went out, she should have been on there with one of them minks on. If whatever the case may be, if the show went on, she should have went on that stage. And the only way she gonna get out of that is he explains that they did not have her back in. And it didn't look like they didn't have the back end. What it looks like is they wanted to pay her half of the back end because she violated a part of the contract, and that's understandable too, because if she performed, so what people have to realize is that if you perform within a certain vicinity within a certain amount of time, then you just water down my show, because now people who wouldn't have had access to you within, let's say, a 2 to 3 week time frame, they had access to you last week, and now they are not coming to my show. So that's why you put something like that in a contract. People who have not done anything like this, who have not booked talent, have no understanding of this. I've booked major talent before, and I'm telling you, all of this is a reasonable part of a contract, because you're going to mess up my money. If you are an artist, let's say Wale, he got a new album out, and his album is dope. Y'all go check out Wale album. So let's say you Wale, and Wale wanted to do a show. B. Jones wanted us to book Wale in 2000 and maybe 16. It might have been 16 or 17. B. Jones, I reached out to Wale people. So this how it broke down. I'm gonna explain to you how this shit worked. So Wale wanted maybe 30 grand a show at the time, I believe. It might have been 30 or 40 grand a show. He was willing to do 3 shows for like 60 grand. Let's just say it was 30. I don't know the exact numbers. It's been like 10 years almost. So basically Wale was doing tours, and he didn't mind us booking them. We had to get the venues, and we had to know the capacity. B. Jones is my guy. He gonna tell you we not lying. We worked out all the numbers. All of this supposed to make sense, but this is how it works, y'all. So Wale was doing a tour, and he basically had a few days open. So the days that was open could have been Thursday through Saturday, or Thursday. It might have been Thursday through Sunday. And basically we could have booked Wale to do Grand Rapids one day, Detroit one day, and maybe Toledo another day. So we could get these 3 shows at a discounted rate. But Wale could not perform around this and that. Like, it's just the way it is, because if Wale performed in Lansing in between, then he watering down whatever the next show is. That if the next show, let's say it was Grand Rapids on Thursday, Detroit on Saturday, he can't perform in Lansing or Flint or Pontiac on Friday, because you're watering down what we have coming on. You know, you watering it down. So some people from Detroit don't mind driving to Pontiac. They're used to it. The Silverdome was there. So they drive the 40 minutes to Pontiac, and now we can't fill up the venue in Detroit because you took another show. So this is something that had to be a part of the contract. If you have never booked that type of talent, we've done comedy shows together, me and B. Jones, and it was the same concept. We had Just Hilarious in Grand Rapids. We had Just Hilarious down there, and other people from Detroit, and some comics from Grand Rapids. Like, it was a nice show, and she could not come and do a show in Battle Creek the day before. You gonna water it down. So this what people got to understand. So she violated the contract before the heat went out. If she performed anywhere that she wasn't supposed to perform at within a certain time frame, the contract was violated. You got to understand that contracts are created for a reason, and you can't just do what you want to do because you watering down what somebody else is spending their money on. So this is something that most people don't understand, and they wondering why would somebody put that in a contract. You put that in a contract because you got to secure your bag. This is your bag. It's not nobody else's bag. So this is what you got to do. Daryl Johnson, they commented, "What's up, Stan?" Got Shannon, "What's up?" So I'm just seeing y'all comments. The way my software work, the Facebook personal page comments don't show up. Um, Somebody on here said they was working with B. Jones back in high school parties. This is what I'm trying to tell y'all. So even since I've been home, so people act like I'm doing since I've been home. I've put together shows. Some of them went through, some of them didn't. So like with B. Jones, they called me. They wanted to book Bodie. I booked Bodie. Me and Bodie was supposed to go to Grand Rapids. We worked out all the numbers. They didn't come through. We ended up couldn't do the show. Bodie will tell you, anybody tell you, I'm not nobody that's just sitting back and not still in tune. I'm still in touch with who I'm in touch with. So this wasn't 5, 10, 6, 7, 8, 9 years ago. This was the last couple years. And then they called again and I still reached out and we still had a date and stuff picked out. So I'm still in tune, even though I be chilling and doing my business stuff, y'all. I'm still in tune. So basically it could be settled in court, and if she performed outside of what she was supposed to perform at in that time frame, then she's going to be liable for whatever money they say they lost, and that could be the 22,000 and whatever else money they say they lost. Then you can get more money because you're saying that you're slandering me out here and saying that I didn't do my part, and now other artists may not want to book with me. So now that's lost income that I can still sue you for. People have to know contractual law. People are not giving you contracts to decorate your office with paper. Stuff is real. So if you don't understand contractual law, you need to get you an entertainment lawyer. I know a few of them and they're pretty good, but you need to get you an entertainment lawyer if you don't understand contractual law. If even with certain things you say on the internet, you can be liable for certain things. I had this conversation with Jay Oneal last night and he was talking about different things that Dawgface was saying about him. And I have made my claim already that, listen, I'm not in the middle of it, but I have a more personal relationship with Jay Oneal, just the same as that. He called me. I haven't heard from Dawgface. So, but you cannot slander somebody's character all throughout the internet. You cannot call everybody rats and do all of that and expect for them not to file some kind of lawsuit or do something, because if you are of a certain caliber on the internet, or you have a certain following, or you do a business and you attract business on the internet, and people are saying something like, "Oh my God, they ganked me," or they ran with my money, and it's a lie, they didn't do the service and it's a lie, then they can prove that you are affecting their income. So this is all that, right? So it's somebody named Maria. Maria says that her argument is she didn't promote that. She was going to perform at the Monica concert. What you say? I seen a clip of her promoting the show. I seen a clip of her promoting the show, and I'm I'm a little confused. Who is Heavyweight Thomas? You can get on. Listen, y'all, I will post a clip in here and I will post the link. If y'all want to get on here, y'all can get on here. I don't let me post the link in the Facebook or the whatever, man. Y'all can get on here. It ain't no biggie. We can come on. Who do I need to talk to? Somebody said they need to talk to me. Heavyweight Thomas. Why we need to talk? I ain't tripping. It's all good with me. We can talk now. We ain't got to talk on the side. I don't got nothing to hide. I'm doing this for the people that wanted to comment anyway. I am who I am, bro. I don't got nothing to hide. I ain't doing nothing for show, nothing for no type of BS, man. It is what it is. Like I said, with the Bodie shows that should have been booked, they didn't come with the money, different things like that. With my niece is really what happened. Like, you know what I'm saying? I got the contracts in my phone. Like, you know what I'm saying? I got her new contract and the old contract. I got the contract for Show Magazine where I had to look over the contract. I got what I told her about the contract. So when I said what I said about for Show Magazine, I did not go into any crazy details about the contract because I can't. But I'm going to tell you this much. The reason that it was escalated to a real entertainment lawyer and for her to handle it that way was because Joe McFashion did not give her a bad contract. It was no loophole in the contract. So when he was doing all of that BS, taking her videos down and stuff off of YouTube and social media and claiming rights, he had a right to do that because of the contract that he had her under. But when the misunderstanding was not straightened out and he was hindering her career, especially a young lady, what y'all got to understand about music and being a female artist in music, you are almost on a ticking time bomb, especially when you young and you cute and you selling your beauty and your sexuality and your attractiveness to the internet. It's only so long you can do that. So my dog was hindering her and he was dead wrong. You know what I'm saying? Yeah, Mel. Mel, you know I know what I know, man. I'm telling y'all, I've done so much business. I was putting on music business seminars, bro. Like I was teaching people about this stuff, about getting their rights, about getting the right publishing, all of that stuff 10 years ago. Now you see this type of stuff, but I was doing that and people were coming to this. They were paying me to teach them this. I've helped people with distribution. People are still using DistroKid and all these raggedy ass distributions and these distribution things. And I'm telling them that I didn't do that. What's up, Money Hands? Money Hands been around. Y'all know I've been around, know what I know. Just because I'm quiet, y'all, don't take it like I don't know what I know. I got the latest this business of music and all of the books and stuff. I stay hip. I stay on what I'm on. I'm telling y'all. So when I'm telling y'all that the contract was probably good, I've dealt with Gladiator, and I'm telling you, Gladiator handled his business. Shout out to my bro Gladiator. I'm telling you, he handled his business. If he booked that lady and it was for 20, 40, $50,000, the contract probably was solid. So she can do all of this internet mumbo jumbo. You can win in the public eye and say they didn't do this or they didn't have heat or they didn't X, Y, and Z. But at the end of the day, if the contract was solid, she would be wrong for performing outside, inside of whatever parameters they set and during whatever timeline they set it at. So you can, sauce it up however you want to sauce it up. I'm not the judge or the jury, but I'm telling you that if she did not handle her business, she's going to be liable. It don't matter if they had heat or didn't have heat. Back to Maria and what she said, Miss Wood Stanfield. I her saying she didn't promote it is one thing. If they gave her 22,000, she was contractually obligated to promote, and she did. I seen her promoting it, saying that she was gonna be there with friends, Cash Doll and Company with friends. So she did promote it, and she should have been there. She should have been there. They are saying that they offer her half of her back end because she went and did shows within the area that she shouldn't have been doing shows at within the time frame that they agreed she wouldn't do shows at. So it is what it is, y'all. I mean, I don't have nothing against Cash Doll. I really don't. It don't matter. I'm just saying contractually you're obligated. If you took that 22,000, they should have had their contract all the way together, right? So anybody else got any questions? Y'all, I'm answering the questions. She said, "What about the Monica concert?" She said she didn't promote the as far as performing at the Monica concert, it wouldn't matter. It just depends on how it's written in the contract. If the contract says you are not to promote any performances, then she can wiggle out of that. If the contract says you are not to perform publicly within 20-mile radius within a 2-week period or whatever, she threw. I would have to see the contract and see how it was written up to say whether that was a violation or not. But what I'm saying is, if it's written up right and they gave that woman 22,000. Oh, okay. I see what you're saying. Yeah, they gave her 22,000. I didn't say that. Did I say she said she was going to perform there? I'm just saying she did. I'm just saying she was at the Brandy and Monica concert. I didn't see that she was going to perform there. It wasn't nothing that I was keeping up with. I'm sorry if I said that. So she said meet her at the other venue after the Monica concert. I don't know, so I don't know if she thought she was gonna double up, go to that, then come to that, and it didn't work out. She didn't get there in time. Whatever happened, if they gave her $22,000, y'all, as a down payment, as the front end, and they offered her 11,000 on the back end because she was at Monica, whatever, I don't know, and she just performed or whatever happened, that was something that it sounded like they were still trying to work it out. From my point of view, it sounded like they were still trying to work it out. They didn't say, "Oh, you went over there, you ain't getting nothing." So obviously they were still trying to work it out, and she had people there. It was something that you should have came through and handled your business, especially in your hometown. You just come and handle your business. Don't take the coat off. And just do whatever you got to do. So I'm reading your question again. Your comment. The contract is the sticking point. Yeah, I just got to see the contract. They could have given her 22K, but most artists have to be paid their back end before they perform. I agree. That's what you're supposed to do. You're supposed to get your back end before you hit the stage. So I am also an artist. I have dealt with artists. I have paid artists. I have paid big DJs. I've paid other, and I've been paid. So I'm not going on stage till you pay me. So I definitely, unless we worked out something with the door. Usually, if we work out something with the door, I gotta trust the promoter. The people at Old Miami, I've usually done door splits with them, and it's worked out pretty good. Other times I've done door splits, and they've worked out pretty good. They definitely get their back end before they perform. But what I'm saying is, if am I going to give you your back end? She's saying they didn't have it. They're saying they offered her 11,000 because she violated the contract. So it's two different sides. I'm not saying who telling the truth or who not. I'm just saying I'm giving my opinion about how it could work out either way. That's all I'm saying, Maria. If you listen to me, I'm not picking a side. I'm saying how it could work out either way. If she violated the contract, they're going to sue and they're going to win. If she didn't violate the contract, yeah, but if she didn't violate the contract, then they owe her. So this is what I'm saying though, Maria. You saying you never couldn't pay a back end. They never said they couldn't pay a back end. They're saying you violated the contract. We don't want to give you your full back end. We'll give you half of it because you being somewhere else could have messed up our ticket sales. So that's what they're saying. I don't know. I've never seen the contract and I wasn't in their pockets. You keep saying you have to pay the full back end, but you haven't considered the fact if she violated the contract. That's the only thing I'm mentioning is if they feel like she violated the contract. But why can't they say that if she just violated the contract? Why can't they say she violated the contract if she just violated it? If the contract says you can't perform somewhere and you perform then try to come to my show, you violated the contract. I don't know what the contract says. I'm telling you I didn't read the contract. But if the contract said that and she violated the contract, it sounds like they were still trying to make amends with saying we'll give you half of the back end. But I wouldn't know. I'm telling you, I haven't spoke to Gladiator. Gladiator's my guy. I have not talked to Gladiator. And if I hadn't, I wouldn't come on here and try to be messy about it. You could never at the time an artist performed say I'm not giving you your back end without consulting an attorney. Who's to say they didn't? It sounds like you already picked a side. I haven't, because I haven't seen the contract. You see what I'm saying? Yeah, but I'm just saying, who's to say they didn't consult with an attorney, right? I don't know. I don't know, how much insight you have to it. I don't know if you know the people personally. I don't know. I'm saying with me, I don't know the contract. I don't know what better way to explain it. I don't know exactly what the contract said to say either way. I'm just saying that if it was a violation, yeah, but I don't know. I gotta kind of let you breathe a little bit because the way you keep going with it is kind of weird. I'm saying I don't know. I don't know what else to tell you. If it's contractually, this is how I feel, y'all. With the contract, if it's in the contract, I'm telling you, I'm not certain or uncertain, or I'm just I don't know what's in the contract. I can't explain this any better way. I don't know what's in the contract. But if it's in the contract that you cannot perform in a certain area within a certain time frame, and you do that, it's a violation. It's a direct violation. So now I owe you money when you come to the show. I owe you $22,000, let's say. When you come to the show, I say you violated this contract, but we can settle and I'll give you half of your back end. Or we can just go to court and I'll go get my money back because you violated the contract. You can say, I'm good. I'm not taking that 11,000. I'll see you in court. Or you can say, Give me them 11 racks. Let me go tear this show down. My people out there waiting on me. Let me handle my business. That's completely up to you. Whichever way it worked out, I would have to see the contract. I would have to talk to Gladiator or somebody else involved about what happened. I don't know. It's a bunch of internet mumbo jumbo. I'm not picking a side. I'm not saying she was wrong. I'm not saying they were wrong because I don't know the contract. What I am going to say is they were not wrong if the contract said you cannot perform in this amount of time in this radius. Blah, blah, you if you can't you it's public that she was performing. Yeah, it's what I'm saying is it's still a violation of the contract. I know what's going on with the industry. I'm telling you, it's still a violation. So at the door, oh, you talking about you got to get back to work. Oh, you an attorney. Oh, you're not an attorney. All right. Most definitely. I haven't chosen a side. I don't know what happened. How am I choosing a side if I'm saying I don't know? This is one thing about arguing with women, y'all. I'm telling you, you cannot win. Literally, you cannot win. This is my platform. I'm gonna say what the hell I want to say. I'm literally on here. Y'all can rewind it. I'm literally on here saying I don't know. And the woman is telling me they should have gave her all her money, even if she did violate. Like, that's crazy. I'm saying I don't know. I don't know what the contract say. I don't know. I can't say it no other way. I've literally started at the beginning saying, look, I don't know. Gladiator is my guy. I don't know. I'm literally telling you that this man is my guy and I haven't spoken to him and he hasn't given me a contract to look at to have any type of opinion to say what the contract said. All I stated was both sides. She said that the venue was cold and she didn't want to go in there and they didn't have her money. They're saying we gave you the upfront money and you were supposed to do X, Y, and Z. And then you come to the show and we are offering you half of the money because you violated whatever you didn't do in the contract. You violated the contract. That's all I said. I didn't say who was wrong or who was right. The judge got to decide that. I'm saying that's just the situation. It could be two sides. I ain't pick a side. I didn't never pick the side. Just saying it could be either or. Like whichever way, the judge got to decide that. But the judge would have the contract right there. I don't have the contract. I haven't read the contract to say who was right or who was wrong. But what I'm saying is if she was in violation, it seemed like they tried to settle it at the show. We'll give you half of the back end because you violated the contract. Now, if you don't want to take that, that's up to you. If you want to take your chances in court, take your chances in court. It's the same thing with confidentiality agreements. It's just a piece of paper. That doesn't mean you can't speak whatever you speak, but it's repercussions for that. You can tell all the secrets in the world, but it's repercussions for that. And it's clearly laid out in the confidentiality agreement. Anything else, that's what contracts are for. So you cannot say, I'm gonna do what I want to do and still give me my back end. That don't make sense if that happened. I'm saying I don't know that happened. But I'm saying if that happened, that doesn't make sense. That you go do what you want to do and contrary to what the contract says, and you're still requesting a full payment, that's crazy. So if that's the case, they'll win. If it's not the case, and she got there and the venue was not ready, it was not operable or performable or whatever they gonna call it, and they're gonna say, well, the roof was caving in, it was unreasonable for her to perform, then she'll win the case. But it's other things that this can happen. If you were, let's say I booked the artist and they had to make 3 reels before the show. I booked them, I paid them a front end. They only made 1 reel. They did not promote the show. Now I'm saying I'm not giving you your back end. You didn't follow what my contract said, which said you had to do 3 reels and promote this 3 times a week up to the date, blah, 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 blah. That's what the contract state. So if you come and you say, well, I'm on my back end now. Well, I only have 50 people here in this 500 capacity venue because you didn't promote the show. They didn't even know if you were going to be there because you only made 1 reel 3 weeks ago and you haven't promoted. They don't know if you coming or not. I'm saying if it's a whole different situation. I'm giving y'all an analogy basically. So if that's a plain and simple thing. You're supposed to make 3 posts a week up to the date of this. Then you're supposed to make 2 posts this day. Like if the contract is laid out like that, and then you jump and say, well, I'm here, I want my back end, and you only made 1 post in the last 30 days, and you're supposed to have made 20 posts, that's a clear violation of the contract, and I don't have to pay you. I can sue you for what I already gave you because you didn't hold your part of the contract. That's how contracts work. So this situation is not my situation. I don't know the contract. I can't say it no other way. I don't know the contract, Maria. I can't say it no other way. Yeah, it's a different way. You know what I'm saying? I understand, Maria. I'm literally like, I kind of like made the point that I don't know. Like, oh, that's my main thing. I'm literally saying I don't know. I can't say it no other way. I'm sorry, Maria. I don't know. Like, I don't know what's in the contract. I started off saying that. So I can't say who right or wrong because I don't know the contract. I can't. That's all I'm saying. You like, honestly, you were like, well, they should have did this. You got to do this, and I'm saying I don't know. I can't say who's right or wrong because I haven't seen the contract. I'm telling you, I can't say it no better than that. Then you say I picked a side. I'm literally saying I don't know. Like, I'm not picking a side. I'm saying it depends on what the contract say. I'm sorry, y'all. I can't. I don't know what better way to say it, y'all. I love the internet, but it's like weird. This why I come on when I come on, y'all. I want to come on here more, but it's like it don't. You don't have to act like my word is law. But this was weird. I'm literally saying I don't know. I don't know what a better way to say I don't know. I haven't seen the contract. I literally said that Gladiator, my guy, he ain't called me. I ain't shit. You know, I don't know. I don't know. I don't haven't seen the contract. I can't say who right or who wrong. That's that. I mean, people hate that. People, like, the internet like forces you to like have an opinion about something. And I'm telling you, I don't know. Like, the internet is crazy, y'all. It's like it make you like pick a side, and then you gonna look stupid if the contract is one way or the other one. I'm telling you, I don't know. I haven't seen it. Now, if somebody sent me the, if y'all know somebody that's in the situation, they could send me the contract, and then I can make another video. But I haven't seen it to say who right or who wrong. I can't say. I literally gave a few scenarios. It could be this, it could be that. That's all I could do. I don't know. That's all I'm saying, Maria. I don't know you personally. I'm not shooting at you. It was like you were basically like, this is what this, and they should have gave the back end. You never had a, and I'm saying if she violated the contract, it makes sense not to give her a back end. That's it. I'm saying if, I didn't say she violated. That's me saying that I know something. She violated the contract. I'm saying if she violated, I've literally this whole time I've said if, because I haven't seen a contract. I haven't seen a contract to make an opinion on it. I haven't seen a contract, and I haven't spoken to anybody that I know in the situation firsthand. And I do know a couple of people, but I haven't spoken to them to say this is exactly what happened. The internet is internet right now, and it is what it is. Now, it was something else. Oh, what else was it I needed to talk about? The dog face situation. The dog face situation. So I spoke about Dawgface managing me, and I also spoke about Dawgface sitting on that porch saying that he took me on the road, and he didn't. He didn't take me on the road. I took myself on the road, and I said it in the whole video that the first time I went on the road was with Big Hef and his Midwest Industry Tour, and the way I got on there was through the College of Hip Hop Twins, and that's who helped me get on the road the first time. While I was on the road, I actually met the tour manager, the person that actually put it together, and me and him been tight ever since. We still tight. This guy is the guy that helped me get on the road the other times I went on the road for my promo tours. So I'm just telling y'all that it never was Dawgface. Like, Dawgface gave me some decent shows, a couple good placements, things like that. But I put myself on the road, and it wasn't no biggie. He just mentioned it in on the porch, and I seen it. I'm like, Dawgface tripping. But other than that, the stuff that Dawgface got going on, that ain't my business. I haven't spoken to Dawgface since I've been home. I haven't seen Dawgface since maybe I think he did, like, he was DJing for somebody at the shoe store down there. Maybe Pierre Anthony, maybe one of Pierre Anthony events or something. Pierre Anthony might have had a release party or something, a listening session or something at a shoe store. It was something going on. I think that was the last time I seen Dawgface. That was in like maybe like 16 or 17. I don't know. I haven't seen Dawgface in a while. I've heard Dawgface say some things about me, not like bad or nothing. Dawgface did say that he kept because I like made a joke about bringing a bunch of Southwest guys to the hip hop awards, and I think Dawgface said that he kept me off of they butt or something. Nobody keep me off of anybody but, so that didn't happen. But other than that, he did manage me. I don't. It wasn't no biggie. He managed me. We did some songs, a couple shows. It was straight. Like I didn't have no bad experience with Dawgface. There's people that try to make everything out to be drama and stuff. But I didn't have no bad experience. Me and Dawgface never went back and forth on the internet. When me and Gov had an issue, I think Dawgface stayed out the middle of that, just like I stayed out the middle of whatever he had going on with Monte Cristo and whoever else on the red team, everybody else. It wasn't my business. Me and Monty was like half decent, so me and Monty didn't have no issues. I still don't have no issues with Monte Cristo and whoever else. Like it just was like a bunch of drama. That's it. I don't have no problem. I see Dawgface going back and forth. Like even the stuff with Meech. Um, I feel like I don't think anybody gave Meech grace. So when I was defending Meech, it was because I seen the paperwork. Like that's a different situation than with the Monica situation and the Cash Doll or whatever. I mean, so with the Cash Doll situation, her being at the Monica and Brandy show, whatever else, that I haven't seen that contract. I can't make a judgment or say one way or another one on that. But with the Big Meech situation, I let it be known that nothing in the paperwork said that the man was hot. You could take that either way. Or so when people like Dawgface and other people from Detroit make all of these commentaries and stuff like that, and it was like, dude, it's nothing in this paperwork that make that man a snitch. And you see now 6 7 8 9 months later it had died down because it was nothing in the paperwork that made that man a snitch. And they were saying that this girl Tammy had tapes or whatever else, all this stuff, and nothing came of it because it was nothing in the paperwork that made that man a snitch. So certain things you got to give people grace for. You can't call people snitches and fags and different stuff. You can't do that and without any type of proof. And one thing about snitching, you can only be a secret snitch so long, and somebody as big as him, the police would have told you he was a rat if he did any type of telling. And then they trying to say, well, he told through this lady. One thing you got to realize is a snake gonna be a snake. So her personality didn't lend to me believing anything that she said because she has shown nothing but snakeism. So I made a judgment then, and I stuck with that, and I feel like I was on the right side of that situation, right? And if in Dawgface or anybody else wanted to go on something like this and talk about it, we could do that and we could not. It wouldn't do anything to me because right is right, wrong is wrong. I don't have to sit on here going back and forth with people that's dogging everybody and not doing it with conscience. Like if I'm saying F somebody, it's because they did something that warranted me saying F them. It's not because of because they look like a girl that I dealt with in high school and whatever. So it's not that situation. We just had a situation on here with the young lady, and she can come on here and we can kick it. Like I'm not that person. So, with the situation with Jay O'Neal and Dawgface, listen, I'm not gonna bring me and Jay private conversations on here, but in a nutshell, I told Jay, man, you gotta let it breathe. Like you, at the end of the day, all this back and forth. We all 40 plus years old. Some of us 50 plus years old, and we shouldn't be on here going back and forth. And then representing for the city and doing certain things a certain way. It's a certain level of commitment that we got to have to us actually handling business together. And the city is too small for me to run around dogging people. And I be out with my kids, I'm out with my family, and I would hate for something to happen and my kids see it one way or another one because I'm not going out without a fight. And I don't think Jay a punk. I don't think Dawgface a punk. So I don't want them to bump heads somewhere and somebody else get hurt or one of them go to jail, one of them end up in a worse situation or a worse condition. The same thing with all of the street lord dudes. Like it's nothing that lends to Juan being a rat. And I'm not never gonna get on here and call Juan a rat. Like it's weird that we like tearing Detroit down from the inside. It's like imploding. Like you got people that's tearing the city down from the inside, and that's weird to me. Especially people of a certain validity. So if Juan was a rat, then the paperwork could be out there. I'm gonna say Juan a rat. If Meech was a rat, the paperwork could be available. I'm gonna say Meech was a rat. It don't matter. I'm gonna call a spade a spade. But one thing I'm not gonna do is jump to any conclusions and start tearing down people that built what Detroit hip hop and rap or the streets, whatever, is made of. Like, even with my thing with Blade, when I had an opinion, it was about music. I didn't know Blade as a person to ever, comment on him personally. I just said the music was it was a little light. It wasn't, but if you listen to my music, you can see why I have that type of opinion. I got a different taste in music, and that's art. I can have my own opinion about an art. But when you start shooting at people's character and you started to do that, you got to do that with a certain You got to do that with a certain level of responsibility because the internet is a vocal chamber. It's loud, like, and people are listening, and certain things get out, and you can't take it back. So you have to respect the fact that you can't take these words back from what you say about people, and that's something that I've held dear to me. If I've said something about somebody, um, and I had a situation with the trucking guru where I said she was a scammer, and because I've watched these news things, and that was so out of touch of me because I didn't know her personally. And for me to do that and her to actually reach out to me, us to have a conversation, and she showed me proof that, hey, I haven't scammed anybody, they're lying, they're on the internet lying. And it made me realize like some people want to get involved with other people just to do the things that they do on the internet and say, you're a scammer, you scam me, you did this, you did that. Like they like literally living off of whatever momentum you have, whatever name you've built for yourself. And I realized then, this was like 2 years ago when she and I jumped on that phone. And this one thing about me, y'all, I learn. I'm a person that lives and I learn and I take these lessons. And I say, this is something that I need to incorporate in my life. And when I seen what they did to the trucking guru, and I seen that she was not the person that they were trying to make her out to be, it made me backtrack a little bit. And I stopped doing the clips so much and doing things like that because that was a person that I didn't know. And as I got to know her, and she and I still cool, like I still would text her different stuff. We haven't done business together, and then I ain't made no money, and she ain't made no money off of me. But we have a decent relationship, and she is a sweetheart. Like she really a sweetheart. Like even when I talked to her, she had her whole family there, her daughter, them like sisters. Like she was like a sweetheart. And people just, oh, they scamming. This people doing, like, people sit around you if they don't feel like you are giving them what they want, or they're not being, they're not being blessed the way you're blessed. They start to feel a certain way, and they gonna take that type of attention any way it go. And y'all see that stuff like that and die down, so it's all good. It's the same thing with what Dawgface or what's the dude, Whack 100 and stuff like that. They can go on these internet things and they use their platform for what they use them for, and they build up a big audience. But you have to be responsible for what you say. And you could use it one way or the other one. You could build artists up, or you can tear artists down. You can build people up, and you can tear people down. But it's still something that you have to be held accountable to, is what you say about people. We are of an age that we're not 16 and 17 to be on here yelling about who we shot last year, who did what, who did this, whatever, whatever. At the end of the day, we're all grown men, and we are held to a certain standard. And I behave like a king. I behave like a king. I hold myself to king standards. I don't hold myself to lower standards, and I'm not doing anything for the internet. So when I said what I said about the radio, you see that Flex came on the post and said that they tried to make him fill out like, I don't have to boost or boast for stuff. I don't run around saying who I know and who this and who that. I don't do that. I literally give credit where it's due, and that's always been me. If you watch old interviews, I'm on there saying shout out to B Hughes, shout out to this person, shout out to Nep, shout out to Pigpen, shout out to BJ. Like, it don't matter. Shout out to BJ Gates. I don't even rock with Dog, and I'm still saying shout out to BJ Gates. We made great music together. Shout out to Flaming Laces. We made great music together. Shout out to other people and anybody that came around me. I try to make their situation better. If Flame was around me, I always said his name on songs. Shout out to Flame, man. Flaming Laces on the beat, whatever. Pigpen, same thing. Because I want you to have more business. I would never have Nep shoot a video and don't put Nep in the video, directed by Nep Jennings, or have Nep do a beat and don't want his tag in a song. Like, I want people to get their credit, because that's what gets you more business. You got to understand the business aspect of it. So with everybody tearing everybody down, yes, it builds up your followers and different things like that. But when you start to tear people down without any type of validity, then it makes other people look at you a certain way, and that may matter or it may not matter to you. So when you claiming Meech and these guys are rats and whatever, like all of the street lord dudes, everybody not solid. You know what I'm saying? You can be on an indictment with 10 people and 9 of them rat. You the only one stays solid, or you could be one of the rats. It could be whatever it could be. I'm not saying just because God's street lords that they solid, or just because Meech is Meech that he's solid. I'm saying before I'm going to say you a rat, I'm going to have the paperwork there. I'm going to have talked to who I need to talk to. I'm going to know that this is what it is. Same thing with J. Oneal. I'm not calling that man no rat. I ain't seen nothing that he ratted. He sent me something yesterday. It ain't said he no rat. I'm not running around calling people rats and doing different things, and that's up to whoever else doing it. I'm just speaking my piece on it. So I think that was everything I said I was gonna touch on. We already touched on the thing with Flex and the fake DJ Los, the Cash Doll thing, Gladiator, everything like that. I don't think it's anything else that's on there. Um, just moving forward, y'all. I do these lives, but um, I'm not coming on here and if I say I don't got an opinion, I don't got an opinion. But if I do have an opinion, I'm gonna stick to my opinion because my opinion usually comes with some level of research, and definitely not anybody jumping on here freestyling about anything. If I'm saying it, then it's probably true, and people gonna come on there and really be like, bro is who he is. You know what I'm saying? My guy, what's up, Pedro? That's one of my guys, y'all. That's one of my guys. What's up, Pedro? And I'm sorry, Maria. I didn't mean just arguing like that. Hey, I'm telling you, it felt like you was like trying to get me to like pick a side so you could say that I was wrong. But I started off, I didn't pick a side. Started off saying that I don't know. Like, I don't know what else to do. So that's that. My guy, this Stan, this was one of my bunkies in the feds, y'all. Stan gonna tell you, bro, I'm all about paperwork. One of our mans was bold. I said, Stan, to pay, this ain't right, dog, ain't right. I said, dog, ain't right. It just is what it is, man. I'm not the person that's gonna be, oh man, this my guy, man. Y'all lying on my guy. Y'all doing this. You know what I'm saying? This my guy Pedro. He said Pedro telling you since I was locked up, I always had my opinions and even with Pedro them, listen, y'all. Stan was in there. My guys, like I'm all about I'm all about the standard, and I'm not about picking sides. I'm not about these my homies, because my homies could be wrong. Pedro and the other Spanish guys, they know I come sit at their table. I don't know, they could have been talking shit about me. Whatever they saying, cool with me. We gonna watch fights. They cook up with me. Pedro come to the room, chill with me, like you know what I'm saying. Like I'm the type of person that's literally like y'all got to know my personality. Maybe I got to get on here more so y'all can see my personality. But my personality is not, this is my way or the highway. I'm not the person that's saying my opinion is law or this and that. I'm going to give you my opinion. If I don't have a side, I'm going to tell you I don't have a side. If I have a side, I'll tell you that side and why. And I'm willing and open to debates. It's okay. It's okay. And we should have those peacefully. But I'm not going to do a whole lot of arguing, y'all, especially not on my platform. Because I'm not even that type of person. I don't do no whole bunch of arguing. I'm more so like, this is what it is. You don't like it, get lost. So we gonna live that type of life. And everybody else that tapped in, y'all, I really appreciate y'all tapping in. I'll do some more of these lives in the next coming days. Anything y'all wanna talk about, we can come on the live and talk about. My guy, man. I love you too, brother. I was locked up for 22 years and you was a one of a kind person. You don't get them, man. Everybody gonna be, people want to be super tough or super this. I just want to be a real person. It wasn't, I don't got to do nothing extra. Nobody violating me. I'm not doing nothing to violate anybody else. I try to handle my business a certain way. We handle ourselves like kings, and it's the same with you. That's why I took to you the way I did with you. Like everybody, the people I'm around want them to handle themselves like kings. We not doing low level stuff. We not operating in no low frequency about stuff. If we have a problem, we can sit down like men because we are not always gonna agree, and we gonna be all right. We gonna walk away from the table, do a cook up, and go about our business because that's what real men do. So y'all enjoy the rest of y'all day. I got a couple meetings to tend to after I pick up the kids. It's gonna be kind of a long day for me, y'all. Y'all enjoy the rest of y'all evening.